You're 60 years old. You got a basement full of stuff, a second car you barely drive, and a boat you used twice last summer. Feels nice, right? Wrong. Those things are about to cost you thousands in retirement, maybe even tens of thousands. Here's what nobody tells you. The stuff you own right now could be the difference between a comfortable retirement and running out of money at 75. In the next 10 minutes, I'm showing you exactly what to sell, when to sell it, and how much money you'll keep in your pocket by doing it. Here's the thing about retirement that catches people off guard. When you're working, that extra car or vacation home feels manageable. Insurance? Sure. Maintenance? Whatever. Property taxes? You've got the income to cover it. But here's what happens the day you retire. Your income drops, sometimes by 40%, sometimes by 60%. Social Security replaces maybe 40% of what you used to make. That pension, if you're lucky enough to have one, it's still less than your old paycheck. Now suddenly, that boat isn't costing you 2% of your income anymore. It's costing you 5%, maybe 8%. That second home, the property taxes that felt like nothing, they're now eating a massive chunk of your fixed income. Think of it like this. You're going from a wide river to a narrow stream. Everything that fit comfortably before is now creating a dam. And unlike when you were working, you can't just make more money next month to fix it. So, yeah, this matters. Because I'm going to show you 7 things that most people keep way too long, and exactly how much it's costing them. Number 1, that second car. Let's start with the obvious one that nobody wants to hear. You got 2 cars. You're about to retire. You think, well, we might need both. No, you won't. Here's the math on this, and it's brutal. The average car costs about $10,000 a year to own. That's insurance, registration, maintenance, gas, depreciation, everything. Maybe yours costs less. Maybe it costs more. But that's the average. Now you're retired. You're not commuting separately anymore. You're not both rushing to different jobs. Most retired couples I talk to, they take one car when they go out because they're going to the same places, grocery store, doctor's appointments, visiting grandkids. So let's say you sell that second car for $20,000. That's $20,000 in your pocket right now. Plus, you're saving $10,000 every single year. Over 10 years of retirement, that's $120,000 you just kept instead of letting it evaporate in depreciation and insurance bills. But here's the catch, and this is important. Sell it before you retire, not after. Here's why. That car is worth more right now while it's being used and maintained regularly. Let's sit in your driveway for a year after you retire. It's worth $3,000 less, and you've already paid another $10,000 to own it. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if we need 2 cars? Fair question. Here's your test. For the next month, only use 1 car. Just try it. If you genuinely need the second one more than twice a week, keep it, but I'm betting you won't. Number 2, the boat, RV, or jet skis. Oh boy, this is where people get emotional. You bought that boat because retirement was supposed to be about fun, right? Lake days, freedom, living the dream. Here's the reality. The average boat gets used 10 days a year. 10. And it costs about $5,000 to $8,000 per year to own, storage, insurance, maintenance, registration, winterization. You're paying $500 every single time you use it. That's before gas. That's before any repairs when the engine decides it doesn't like sitting in storage for 11 months. Let's say your boat is worth $30,000 right now. Sell it today. That's $30,000 in your retirement fund. Keep it for 5 years. You spent another $30,000 just to own it, and now it's worth maybe $20,000 because boats depreciate like crazy. Same goes for RVs. Actually, RVs are worse. They cost $8,000 to $12,000 per year to own, and I meet people all the time who swore they'd travel full-time in retirement. Reality? They used it twice, and now it's sitting in their driveway worth half what they paid. Here's what you do instead. Rent. Seriously, you can rent a beautiful boat for $400 to $600 a day. Use it 10 days a year? That's $5,000, about what you'd spend owning one anyway. But here's the difference. You're not dealing with maintenance, storage, or depreciation. Plus, you get to try different boats. Want a pontoon this weekend? Great. Want a fishing boat next month? Done. Number 3, the extra property or vacation home. This one's a retirement killer, and people don't realize it until it's too late. You bought a vacation home 10 years ago. Made sense then. You were making good money, visited several times a year, maybe rented out occasionally. But here's what happens in retirement. That second property becomes an anchor. Property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, HOA fees. Even if you're not there, you're paying. For a modest vacation home, you're looking at $12,000 to $20,000 per year. Every year, whether you use it or not. I talked to a guy last year, we'll call him Robert, who kept his lake house 3 years into retirement. Property taxes alone were $8,000 a year. He visited maybe 3 weeks total. That's $8,000 divided by 21 days. He was paying $380 per night just in property taxes to stay in his own place. He could have rented a luxury Airbnb for less. But here's the real problem. That money tied up in property is not growing. If you got $300,000 in equity sitting in a vacation home, that's $300,000 not in your retirement portfolio. At a conservative 5% annual return, you're missing out on $15,000 per year in growth. Add the $15,000 you're spending to maintain it, you're $30,000 in the hole every single year. Sell it before you retire. Take that $300,000, invest it conservatively, use the returns to rent nice places wherever you want to go. You'll have more freedom, less stress, and more money. Number 4, life insurance you don't need anymore. Stay with me here, because this one surprises people. If you got a whole life or universal life insurance policy, you might be paying $3,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 a year in premiums. Here's the question. Why? Life insurance protects people who depend on your income. When you're 45 with kids and a mortgage, absolutely, you need it. But you're about to retire. The kids are grown. The house is paid off, or close to it. Your spouse has Social Security, maybe a pension. If you got $500,000 in retirement savings, your spouse doesn't need a $500,000 insurance payout. They've already got money. They need you to stop spending $5,000 a year on premiums you don't need. Now, here's what you do instead of just canceling. Cash it out. Whole life policies build cash value. You might have $80,000, $100,000, even $150,000 sitting in there. That money is yours. Take it, roll it into your retirement accounts, and stop paying those premiums. Exception time. If you have a pension that dies with you, meaning your spouse gets nothing when you're gone, keep some life insurance. Or if you've got serious estate tax issues. But for most people watching this, you don't need what you're paying for. Number 5, collectibles that are worth real money. Comic books, baseball cards, antiques, old toys, vintage whatever. If it's sitting in your attic, worth money someday. That day is now. Here's why. You're 60, 65 years old. You think you're going to sell that stuff when? At 75? At 80? Because I've got news for you. The market for this stuff isn't getting better. It's getting worse. The people who want to buy your vintage Star Wars figures or your baseball card collection, they're your age. In 10 years, they're not buying. They're selling their own collections. Plus, and this is the part nobody wants to admit, your kids don't want it. They really don't. You think it's treasure. They think it's clutter they'll have to deal with when you're gone. Sell it now while there's still a market. Take that money. Put it somewhere it'll actually help your retirement. Because $10,000 in a retirement account earning 5% is worth more than $10,000 in comic books losing value in your basement. Number 6, the too big house. I know. This is your home. You raise your kids here. Every room has memories. But here's the cold, hard truth. That house is costing you a fortune, and it's about to get worse. Property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance. On a 3,000 square foot house, you're easily spending $15,000 to $20,000 a year just to keep the lights on and the roof from leaking. And when you're retired and living on a fixed income, that's real money. But here's what really gets people: maintenance. That roof needs replacing soon. That HVAC system is 15 years old. When you're 70 and something major breaks, you think you want to deal with a $12,000 repair bill. Downsize before you retire. Here's why timing matters. You can handle the stress of moving right now. You're healthy, you're capable. Wait until you're 75, and moving is a nightmare. Plus, you get to choose where you go. Wait too long, and you're moving because you have to, not because you want to. Number 7, business equipment or professional tools. Last one. If you're a contractor, consultant, or small business owner, you've probably got tens of thousands of dollars in equipment, tools, or inventory. Trucks, trailers, specialized equipment, office furniture, whatever your business needs. The day you retire, all that stuff stops making you money and starts costing you money. Storage, depreciation, insurance. It adds up fast. Sell it now while it's worth something, while other people in your industry want it. Because here's what happens if you don't. You keep it just in case. You pay to store it, it depreciates, and 5 years later, when you finally admit you're never using it again, it's worth half what it is today. I know a retired electrician who kept all his tools in his work van for 3 years just in case. Lost $15,000 in depreciation, paid $3,000 in insurance, and finally sold everything for a fraction of what he could have gotten. Don't be that guy. 3 big mistakes people make with this stuff. Mistake number 1, waiting too long to sell. People think, I'll sell it when I need the money. Wrong. By the time you need the money, this stuff is worth less, and you've already spent thousands maintaining it. Sell before you retire, not after. Mistake number 2, getting emotional about stuff. Yes, you love that boat. Yes, that house is memories. But staying broke in retirement because you couldn't let go of things? That's not noble. That's just expensive. You can love your memories without bankrupting yourself. Mistake number 3, not doing the actual math. People guess what things cost. Oh, the boat's not that expensive. Really? Add up every single expense. Insurance, storage, maintenance, registration, repairs. Write it down. I promise you it's more than you think. Here's how you avoid all 3 mistakes. Right now, today, make a list of everything you own that costs money to keep. Write down what each thing costs per year. Then ask yourself, is this worth it? If you're spending $8,000 a year on something you use twice, the answer's pretty clear. So here's exactly what you do next. First, make that list I just mentioned. Every asset, every toy, every property. Write down what it costs to own per year. All in. Second, for each item, ask these 3 questions. Have I used this more than 10 times in the last year? Does this make my life significantly better? Can I afford to keep paying for this on my retirement income? If you answered no to any of these, it goes on the sell list. Third, start with the easiest sale. Don't try to sell everything at once. You'll get overwhelmed and quit. Pick one thing. Sell it this month. Use that momentum to sell the next thing. Fourth, price everything to actually sell. I see people trying to get 90% of retail value for used stuff. That's not happening. Price it to move. You want it gone, not sitting in your garage for another year. Finally, take every dollar you make from these sales and put it somewhere smart. Retirement account, high-yield savings, pay off debt. Don't blow on a vacation or a new toy. This is your retirement security we're talking about. Look, here's the bottom line. Retirement's not about having the most stuff. It's about having enough money to actually enjoy your life. Every single thing you own costs money. And in retirement, when money's tight, the stuff you're hanging on to could be the difference between comfort and stress. Sell what you don't need now, while it's still worth something. Your future self, the one with more money and less stress, is going to thank you. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 7 things are you getting rid of first. I read every single comment. And next week, I'm breaking down the 5 retirement expenses nobody warns you about, the ones that blindside people in their first year. You don't want to miss it. See you then.